I'm going to sing a song from the Nunaka people of North Stradbroke Island. It's called Yellow Bird by Yada Yada. Welcome everyone here, welcome everyone to this place. like to pay respects to all people of Syria, past and present. Pay respects to this song here, Dying in Army. Song for the Waka people, Kabi, made tracks all the way through all this country. But to call up all the good spirit of this land here, look for a canal, for a heart. This song here, play them. Hey! What does that say? What does that say? We've still got our connection to the country. We've still got our song, dance and story. That's what that says. Again, that's not our culture. That's our responsibility. What are we going to say? 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 What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Our next speaker, that's coming up, is a young, deadly strong sister. They're really ready.
First and foremost, I'd just like to acknowledge traditional owners of this country, and I'd also like to acknowledge the war that they fought here, a war similar to what our brothers and sisters over in WA are going through right now. But I've tried recently, tried to relearn and regather my language. So I managed to get some down, so just excuse me in my pronunciation of some words. They might seem a bit untouched and out of place. Yama. Nega yena gamaroi kuma. Naga gamawali ningare gamilare. Naga gane sale. Naga yarase ga barawa nagi. Gari barawa sarawa li bamba. I basically just said, hello, I'm a Gamilaroi and Cooma woman. My totem is a red kangaroo. My words are worn out, but they will return with force. On the ride up from the Gold Coast, I was thinking to myself, what am I going to say tonight? Because there's nothing that I've said or that I can say that uncles and aunties haven't already said before this week and on tonight. But one thing that I think that I've heard enough negative things about being Aboriginal in my life. I've had enough of negativity. So what I want to do, what I want to say tonight, is that Abbott may think that we are just a lifestyle choice, but we are so much more than that. I remember as a young girl being told that I'm just Aboriginal. What does that even mean? As I grew up, I recognized that being Aboriginal is about being a part of a culture that has been here since the first sunrise. We've never left, and we're never going to leave. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what army you do on us, no matter what nuclear bombs you want to drop on us, we will still be to be here today, we would not be. We are here because we are part of something so much more. We mean so much more. As Aboriginal people, we, like Brother Bo said before, this is not a lifestyle choice, this is a responsibility. We have a responsibility to our culture. Being called Aboriginal is not just putting on your skin at the start of the day before you go to work. It's not just putting on your skin when you walk into a Centrelink office. It's not just putting on your skin when you go into a job interview and you want to get a job because, you know, they only employ white people and you be the first black one. It's not about just that. It's not about being the first. It's about being the last one standing in this country. And we as Aboriginal people, and what we all are proving tonight, is that we are strong and we are going to fight until we are the last one standing. There is no in between. We are strong. We are Aboriginal people. And it's time that we start taking some pride in that and start acknowledging the meaning that being Aboriginal has to us. I am a Gamilaroi and Cooma woman. That is who I am until the day I die. It's something I will always be, and it's something that I am proud to be. Thank you.
Our next speaker has been a part of the Brisbane community for quite some time, Ricky Busto.
I was born here. I was born here and I watched a lot of people come here. That's why it was home. It's Peru. Freedom in this country is confusion. With all kinds of decisions made carelessly, there's nowhere to hide. A country where the rich live and the poor slowly die. Pressure is upon us all. Yet we make a stand only to be met by a wall. There's nowhere to hide. Yet I wonder, is the word freedom real? I'm confused. Correct it if I'm wrong. Sudden death of this beautiful country brings tears to my eyes. The word poverty is beginning to come alive. And there's nowhere to hide. The government of Australia are the people that are keeping us down. The government of Australia are the people who lie to the world. And it's all about money and power. There was an elder in this community that they named hostels after. And she used to say to me all the time, boy, when I go, it's all about money and power. This is about forced closure of Aboriginal communities in Australia. Haven't they got over the invasion yet? Huh? Haven't they got over invading this country? Haven't they decided, haven't they set up their churches on the richest hills in Brisbane? Every hill in Brisbane, prime real estate, has a Catholic church. And they'll give you a Bible, and they'll tell you to read it, and they'll convert you, take you away from your culture, and give you a Bible, and get you to try and preach to other people. But we got our own law, we got our own Bible, we got our own God, and we got our own land. But we're prisoners in our own land. That's all I've got to say. We're still prisoners in our own land.
Our next speaker is our only non-Indigenous speaker. Jonathan does a lot of stuff with refugee rights and continues to support our struggle. Jonathan.
Ako Jonathan, magtanara ko Butchok, nga ganina Brisbane mo ka yung bala limuru gadara torbu wangangor gadjagara wangangor. I won't speak for too long because I think these events should prioritise the voices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander speakers, but I'd just like to say thank you to the organisers for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I think we should give them a round of applause for organising this. So, among other things, I'm a spokesperson for the Queensland Greens, and I'm glad to say that we strongly and ambiguously oppose the WA. Just as we oppose the intrinsically racist Northern Territory intervention and the ongoing closure of homeland projects all around this continent. But as most of you here know, this is just one outrage in a long line of paternalistic assimilationist policies, death in custody, stolen children, devastated land, and I think we're kidding ourselves if we think this is going to be the last one. So as far as I'm concerned, the only way forward is sovereignty. And I don't say that lightly. I think we need to be deeply suspicious of anyone who claims that they know what's best for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. And I say this as a political person, but you can't rely on non-Indigenous politicians and bureaucrats who've been schooled in the white system and this hierarchical capitalist bullshit. You can't rely on them to make good decisions for First Nations peoples. So the question for me becomes, what does sovereignty look like in practice? What does that mean on the ground in communities all around Australia? And so I'm not here to tell you what that is. That's for our Murrays to decide. But I just want to start that conversation. We maybe need to move away from reactive politics and start positively articulating what does sovereignty look like in practice in different parts of this continent. I also just want to mention really briefly, I guess, I'll do a poem instead. This is about drawing links between the experiences of migrants, people of colour who come from non-European countries, and recognising that they have many similar experiences of assimilation and paternalism and control that our First Nations people experience. And I think it's important to draw those connections where they exist and understand how this all fits in together. And build a broader movement that's about critiquing capitalist hierarchies from every angle possible. So I'll leave you with this poem. Jimmy's got a face like a caramel Tim Tam, and Dad's got skin like dark chocolate. A lot of people don't trust dark chocolate. No one gives a job for dark chocolate with marbles in his mouth, but Jimmy, man, he's got potential. Sharp mind and a sharper pencil, so dark chocolate splurges on a special present. A delicate brush and a tin of white paint, it isn't quite what Jimmy hoped for. But Dad knows best to skew your face, boy. A long-term disguise. Caramel can burn those white Australian eyes. Whether you're a Brisbane Murray or a Tamil refugee, tin of white liquid's gonna set you free, so slap that paint on, son. Lay it on thick. You know you want to look like they do. If you want a good job, comfortable life, slap that paint on, son. Mirror's gonna eat you if you stare too long. Step 2, reaches deep down Jimmy's throat. Dips the tendril connecting Caramel's accent to his vocal cords with an index fingernail grown long specifically for that purpose. Dad pays 2 weeks savings for his service. Money well spent. Jimmy's gonna talk like them, walk like them, dress like them, wave a flag like them, think like them, see a shrink like them, sing songs in the tongue of the dark chocolate, still mumbles like marbles. Step 3, see Jimmy all slattered in pain, talking in a tongue that his dad ain't ever tasted. Now a well-meaning teacher lifts him like Simba and dunks him in the melting pot. Warm and murky, baptized when he rises again, it's time for the procedure. Teacher takes a sewing needle to his temporal lobe, stitches in new mythologies, rewires the circuitry, major surgery. These new rhythms aren't easily forgotten. That pasty white disguise is a VIP pass. Top of his class, Jimmy's dad's so proud, but over time, the magic paint seeps through skin pores and causes a kind of forgetting. Jimmy eats the mirror while trying to see inside himself. Slap that paint on, son. And years later, when Jimmy's son meets Jimmy's dad, the kid can't swallow dark chocolate. He's been drinking white paint his whole life. It's like a chainsaw trying to talk to a tree. What's left to chat about? Jimmy's son nods and smiles.
Don't be silly, Grandad. It's all in the past now. Don't talk about race. Don't talk about race. Don't talk about race. It's racist to talk about race. Jimmy's son turns away, says goodbye. No more time for dark chocolate. He's heading home to his gated community in his rich white people car with a broken compass pulled back to the dashboard and a bumper sticker that reads, "Fit in or fuck off." See the white paint on the statement free.
What are we going to say? 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 What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Our next speaker also has, now everybody that's spoken has a connection to Brisbane. And she's been a part of the online campaign over the last 2 weeks, that's galvanised a lot of people around the country. Ben Cook.
I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this country. I'm Nigina from the Kimberley region of Western Australia. And 2 weeks ago, my community issued a vote of no confidence in the federal government of Australia and the state government of Western Australia. This vote of no confidence has been heard around the world. To date, on the social media platform alone, we've reached the size of a very substantial town with 46,500 people checked into Facebook alone. That's not it. We've got a 1.5 million reach behind that number, which means we're the size of a capital city of anywhere in this world. We are choosing to illuminate humanity in the way in which we want to see the world and the changes that we need. We know that culture exists throughout our Indigenous peoples. You can see it behind in the support from our Cree brothers and our Apache and Mohawk brothers and our Anishinaabe brothers from Turtle Island. You can see that with our Maori whānau and the flags that are waving high and the messages that we're receiving from South America to Finland. The world is watching, and we've got a vote of no confidence in our government. So I'm here today to let everybody know that the second national call of action, the big wave where we all come together and we march as one, is now issued. Its date is Friday the 1st of May, which gives us an opportunity for our really remote communities to get the business sorted at their end so that they can stand with us and join the march together. It's a strong statement of unity, and it's one in which we are really proud because we know with this social media platform the word has gotten out to the likes of Angela Davis, who yesterday posted a photo of her standing in solidarity. We know that our voice has reached the ears of unions and politicians, and we understand the complexities of that relationship because we've endured it for over 200 years. But we've, as a people, made the decision that we're going to stand together. So on the 2nd of May, I just hope that we come together in a strong sense of unity and know that our work is still not done. There are so many issues, not just the forced closure of our community that we've heard today, that we must continue to stand affirmed because we know that culture is alive. We know that culture is alive in this city. We've seen it. And we know that our sovereign rights have never been honoured. And we stand here today saying it's time. So thank you very much.
I can start to see some people leaving. It's getting pretty late. Now, time to go home. Just want to ask something just before people leave. Is what are we going to say? 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 What are we going to do? What are we going to
for coming. Each and every one of you. You didn't make a lifestyle choice to come, you made an obligation. It was our responsibility to come. I'm going to ask by the cops to try. You're not taking your people out to march. I said, I can't make the people march. But if the people want to march, I'll stand with them. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, let's go. Aye!